Why did I do that? I do that. It's somehow that has become something I do. It's like my thing. And I wish it wasn't my thing. I'm wondering for some of these enemies I should switch to a lightning weapon. I wonder if I'd be doing more. Because I would think some of the enemies in here would be weak to it. I could probably be taking much, much better advantage of weapon types in certain situations, but hey, I'm doing the best I can. When I run out of buffs is when I'd be most likely to switch to a different variant or flavor. I prefer calling it flavor of my sword. And another thing to cut. It's funny that they had this, which was something they probably added early on, but didn't really utilize it anywhere else. Not that I can think of off the top of my head. You think some of those might have been in the Berg. But it's so appropriate here, and I just love it. It's just a simple thing that I love. Okay, coming in through this way, in my opinion, is more dangerous. But we do have to go down here. So let's do this appropriately. This can get dangerous quickly. I should probably put on a Ring of Sacrifice, but we need the Wolf Ring. There's no doubt. Well, we need the Wolf Ring. We need the Wolf Ring. Not the Hornet Ring. The one with the wolf on it, not the Hornet. Nothing here is giving me particular poise, but I don't want to get slowed down. Let's trade out for the Grass Crest. Where did I put? There it is. This is dangerous. This is dangerous territory we're in. And I'm going to put on Replenishment too. I'm going to heal up. Replenishment. And buff. Because if you're not familiar with it or you've forgotten what's down here, it's probably enemy number 2. If the worms are number 1, these guys are number 2. And don't get me wrong, I like these guys, and I like that they're here. But just look at this. You come down here, you're like, okay. You know, that seems fine. But it's not fine. The worst friggin' enemies that if you're not ready for them, they will introduce themselves to you in the worst way possible by stun locking you into a corner and never letting you go. And it's said that if you die to a bone wheel skeleton, you become one. No one said that, but I'm saying that right now. That's what happens. Your options are either run through this area Hail Mary style and hope you don't die, or not do what I'm doing, because that's so dangerous. Oh god, okay. Whoa, back up, wait for him to roll. Don't try to challenge him. If you got a shield that's tough, like Havel's shield or Tarkus' shield, you can challenge their roll. Otherwise, if they're starting to roll, get out of the way. Don't block it. You don't have enough stamina. You don't have enough stability to handle it. These guys are just a solid enemy in that regard. If you fight them that way, carefully like that, one at a time, you're good. If you got 6 or 7 of them coming at you at once, you're in trouble. That's the moment you should know you're in trouble. And it looks so innocent too. You come down here, you see 1 or 2, and you're like, at that point you should be worried, because you're like, what else is here? What else am I not seeing? Such good enemy placement. That's another thing that can't be. It's one thing to design a good level. It's another thing to have good enemies, and it's a whole nother thing to place them properly. And these guys are placed very appropriately. Not only because there's the right amount in here, it's not overwhelming. They didn't throw 100 at you to just be cheap. And there's not just 1 or 2 to just burn your way through. There's just enough in here that if you're not careful, you'll get overwhelmed and die. But if you do it strategically, carefully, the way Dark Souls was kind of intended to be played, carefully, patiently, you'll usually benefit from it and not die. That's the most dangerous thing right there. When they're still rolling, even once they're caught in the wall, and if you get right up next to behind them, they're still attacking. I don't know if there is another enemy in the game that can attack both in front of them and behind them at the same time. Okay, I think we got them all. See, I love how the light, it draws you to this item, and you think, okay, I'll run for that item. And if you run straight for that item, every single one of them will be triggered down here. This is one of the best rooms in the game, in my opinion. I know I'm talking a lot about the level design, and it's maybe kind of like, okay, yeah, we get it. You love the painted world. You know, if you love it so much, marry it. And I tried. They wouldn't let me. But it's such a good area. And it doesn't get enough praise, in my opinion. If this is the epitome of Dark Souls, like if you wanted to sit someone down who hadn't played Dark Souls before, you either drop them in the Berg or you drop them in here. Maybe a more veteran player might be good, like all the people who didn't play Dark Souls 1 but played 2 or 3. They should play this area. This area is excellent, and it's even that much cooler just because there's so much here, so much of the game, the good game, the core game, like what I would say is excellent. And to some people, you could potentially say, "Oh yeah, the paint area is my favorite world," and they'd be like, "Where's that? I've never been there." It's completely missable. It's very missable. And it's very dangerous. And I'm in a dangerous place. I'm gonna... Okay, now it's getting dangerous. Now this is where it gets more dangerous. Because at least in that room, we had the breathing space to move around. But in here, we don't have that luxury. In here, it gets dangerous. Because if you're not careful, you will get stun locked really easy. Inch over to the bone wheel. Reminds me of a lot of things in a few games. This is such... There's no other area quite like this in the game. Not even in the Catacombs of the Depths do you get into an area. This is like a labyrinth, but the worst kind. Because it's got bone wheels. And they can make turns. Oh, God. And then you lose sight of them, and they turn around, and then they have backup. And it's not good. It's not... You don't want to be in that situation. And again, you're tempted to run for items, but it's... And it's got illusionary walls down here. It's just... This area is just... It's so good. The annex key, which we needed. I think it's like the main draw to come down. I'm not sure there's too much else down here. And then I think this is the one that if you open this wall... Okay, no, there's one of these. You open the wall, and there's just like a bone wheel there. And you're like, oh, hi. It's not cool. Not cool for... There he is. There's the bone wheel. Okay. Nope, 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 nope. Stop. Stop the... It'd be really cool if they had like a Dark Souls carnival ride. Oh, no. And one of the like the Ferris wheels were bone wheels. I wish FromSoft had that kind of money. That would be great. Dark Souls themed amusement park. I haven't been to a amusement park or a carnival in a long time, and I really, really wanted some. There's just nowhere else I've ever gotten it, but lemonade from like a fair or. Oh crap! That was. The and they blend in, like color-wise, they blend in with the. Okay, we're gonna back. We're not gonna pursue that. You can come to me. Hey. Okay, now he's in an open room, and that's never... Okay, it's like... It's so out of hand, and I just don't want to die. And without a buff, I'm not so strong. But lemonade from, like, a fair or an amusement park, it's just so good. I've never had it. I gotta go to a fair. And there's plenty of fairs going on between now until winter. I really gotta go get some of that, because I really, really had a craving for a good lemonade. And actually, all this, I think I mentioned before, but I've been going around different places to eat in my area. Some places I've been to before, some places I've never been to, places I haven't traveled to before, but I live within, like, 20, 30, maybe 40 miles from. Now that it's summer, I've been taking advantage of that, and I have been going to ice cream places. And boy, there are some good ice cream places. So good. Even right now, I'm just kind of thinking, it's like, oh man, I could go get ice cream. It's like, I want to go get lemonade, I want to go get ice cream. Those things do not go together. Okay, this should just bring me back up to the top of the well, right? That's where we are. Just the interconnection here is perfect. Yeah, okay. No, we're good. And, oh, no. Okay, yeah, those guys, for whatever reason, they still, like, I don't think they can come down, but they can, like, crowd around the top of the well. The phalanx enemies up above. They come in. Because then you don't have a good way back out. Because if you can't climb up that ladder in time, they will shred you to pieces. Like a horrible bone wheel blender. See, that was the thing up here, but this guy wasn't here, was he? Because I was up here looking down, and I couldn't see him. Because that's where that is. Yet another area where you kind of come in and it's sort of like a no way out sort of area. Can you not... Oh, yeah. Yeah. Take that. Hopefully he has some moss for me. Oh, right. He has Surge. That's where you pick up Surge. Which I can't use. But that's one of my preferred... It's not a good pyromancy spell, especially in terms of PvP, but it's a fun pyromancy spell. And sometimes that's worth it, right? Hey, guys. How you doing? See ya. It's been good. Even just having, like, the graveyard aesthetic here with the statue and foreboding the boss, but also telling a little bit of lore. Just this statue not only foreshadows the boss, but also it does tell you a little bit of lore. I don't know, I really like it. These guys running around the courtyard. Jeremiah hanging out over there. And if you're brave enough to go down and get that key, which is the only place I think the annex key works. I think it's the only use to get through here. But now I'm thinking of ice cream and how good ice cream is. Has anyone ever had peppermint ice cream? Peppermint ice cream is awesome. And the only thing better than peppermint ice cream is probably like a peppermint milkshake. Really good. Not like I like mint, don't get me wrong, I like mint a lot. I think if you backstab kill these guys, you don't get toxic. I think. I can't remember. But I'd rather not get... I'm running low on my moss, so... But peppermint ice cream, peppermint milkshake, especially good. Like, if ice cream's one of those things, there's some things that I buy, and it's just like, yeah, I'll buy the cheaper version, or I'll buy the inexpensive, whatever this is. But there are some things when it comes to, like, desserts, and especially ice cream, it's like, I want the good ice cream. If I'm going to go out of my way to buy ice cream and eat something that just isn't good for me, I want the good stuff. I'm willing to pay the good stuff. And I guess, unfortunate that there's a number of great creameries and farms and dairies around here that have really good ice cream. And back. And the only way to eat really good ice cream on a hot day is also, there's one place around here that's like a local creamery farm. Not only do they make their own ice cream and it's really good, but you can get a fresh made waffle cone. Fresh made, like I'm talking batter into the maker, thin waffle cone. They roll it, put the ice cream right in it, and serve it to you. So good. So good. And this area, so I sure hope you've enjoyed this commentary where I gush over the Dark Souls painted world while talk about ice cream. It's what I always want to do. It's how I envision this going. Talking about ice cream, and yeah, see, that's why I wanted to nope out of that situation. I think harpies might be weak to fire. I probably should put on a fire buff. At least I got it separated. Okay, that's everything sometimes in Dark Souls, is just separating enemies. Just don't have enemies bunch up on you and you'll do much, much better. I could also take off all my poise gear now. And don't get grabbed. Never, ever get grabbed. You don't want to get grabbed. Oh. Okay. I quit and reloaded the game just for a quick second. Where'd everyone go? Bingo. Actually, this area does have a very Resident Evil feel to it. There's like Silent Hill, like when I say Silent Hill, Resident Evil, those are both, yeah, just huge, huge games that have such a distinct vibe to them that just by saying Silent Hill, Resident Evil, it gives you a distinct feel to the game. Or it should, I don't know, describe to you in one word what I'm talking about. Like if you said I don't know, I'm trying to think of a great film director that would give a good example that I can't think of off the top of my head. For a type of movie, you'd know, like, oh yeah, you mean that kind of movie. Yeah, I love those kind of movies. And when I say a Resident Evil or a Silent Hill sort of game, people would be like, oh yeah, like I love those kind of games. Although, they've really changed a bit now too, which makes me think of Resident Evil 7, which I'm still dying to play. I know it wasn't, I think it was relatively well received. I don't think, it got a lot of backlash initially, but I think it turned out to be a good game as far as I can tell. I didn't follow it too much after the launch. I saw a couple of playthroughs. It's definitely on my list of games I'd like to play and not get grabbed by harpies. But it's this area, it nails such a good feeling to me. And another thing about this area that I'm already thinking about, because I already can think of 3 things I missed, but I always feel like when I come in this area and when I leave this area, I always feel like I have missed something, as if I've not quite completed the area, which is, I think, okay, what am I doing? Alright, that was a bad idea. Alright. See, I'm trying to just lead them out, but it's not working. I don't have to fight them, so I shouldn't fight them. Why am I fighting them? Where's my fire buff? Let me, I probably don't even need, I don't think you need poison moss in here for any reason. I probably moved my buffs to the bottom. I did not. Okay, I could use some more lightning buffs. There's a select group of enemies in the game that are weak to lightning, but the enemies that are weak to lightning tend to be very weak to lightning. Okay, Dark Ember, there it is, we got it. I don't think there's anything else back here, even though I always, like I said, I always feel like there's more to this area. Like there's just something we haven't discovered yet, even though it's sad, but thanks to things like data mining, we know we have found or not found everything based on that, usually. I don't think, there's been a few things, like I know recently, one thing I heard about was the speedrunning community for Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door. I think 14 years after the game came out, discovered something they didn't know about the game, about how to get to a debug menu from the main menu. So that was kind of interesting. It's like, you think, like 14 years and no one knew about this. And I think it was discovered by accident. I'm retranslating or regarbulating, if that's a word, information that I only half saw. I saw like the headline, sort of watched the video, didn't fully watch the video, but still look it up. Just look up Paper Mario Thousand Year Door glitch found 14 or 15 years later. However long it was. Can't even remember when that game came out. You know, for me, that's one of those games that's a staple for me. Like, if people ask me, oh, what's your favorite game? I never have a good answer for that, but Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door falls somewhere in the top 5. It's such a good game. If you never played it, turn-based RPG, but has an incredible story. And if you've not played the Paper Mario series, it's not like typical Mario, like the platformer, like the whoa, it's me. It's a little bit of that, but in like a very comic. The writing in that game is so good. I think I probably already talked about it earlier because I had been playing it. And I got to get back on and finish it. I'm currently in the middle of playing like 4 different games. I got Thousand Year Door going on one. I got Mario 64 in my GameCube N64. I got Devil May Cry, the HD collection, which I had a fantastic thing happen, which I'll get to in a second. And I'm also playing this on 360. So I'm playing a ton of games. And I really need to hunker down and finish one so I can get to another. And to another, and to another, to another. Because I'm in the middle of playing through pretty much all my old games. Not every single one. Some of them kind of going back and playing just a little bit. Velka's Rapier. Just a great weapon right there. It's actually one of my favorite weapons in the game. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, to cut myself off, which... Oh no, I've never done that before. Yeah, see, it scales with intelligence. So if you have high intelligence, this is a great dex weapon for you. It requires 60 intelligence too to use, so that's kind of interesting. But if you are an intelligence dexterity build, this is a beautiful weapon for you.